Hi everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb, and welcome to the Artyrv channel. Welcome to the live stream. We've got a chat tonight, a Q&A.
Hope everybody's warm.
Yeah, cuddle up, grab something warm to drink.
Some
or
hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa or coffee or anything. Hot toddy, whatever you want, and some snacks, and let's get going.
It's
Settle
great.
in.
Welcome everybody, and I'm going to share one thing with everybody before we get started, and it is 34,027 subscribers as of 3 minutes ago.
Yes.
Y'all, thank you so much. Sometime last night, overnight, maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock this morning, we hit that 34,000 mark, and I told Barbara yesterday, maybe we should go live when we hit 34,000. Well, we were both sleeping, so we didn't make that.
Yes.
So we're live tonight, and we're so happy. Thank you guys very much.
And it's good to see everyone here. I guess a lot of you are kind of snowed in or iced in or whatever. I hope that everyone is safe at home and everyone is well.
I do too, because Barb, it is really cold out there. It's even cold out here right now. It's 33 degrees here.
Is.
So
it is.
So we've got some people have already started with questions, and we're gonna start out with some questions. But I think, are we gonna start out with a question, or are we gonna start out with a
who we are, what we do,
who we are, and what we do,
and a little bit of that, and a little bit of this.
Okay, well that's enough of that.
Okay, that's done. I'm glad about that. No, I'm just kidding. Ed, you want to tell the newcomers here who we are? I think everyone. We have a few newcomers here.
We have a lot of new members, guys, and we want to thank you. And I want to let you know tonight, we're starting a new box. We are starting a new box of color for all of our misfit pieces of glass that we're cutting up during our glass chats. So just to tell you guys, you newcomers, a little bit about Barbara and I. I've been in the glass industry for 43 years, and Barbara has been with the company and in the glass industry for a little over 35 years. So together, that's quite a few years of experience. We have always worked for ourselves, and our company is 39 years old. And this year we'll be celebrating 40 years for Conway Glass. And so Barbara and I, what we do is we do public art. We also blow glass. We do large stained glass commissions as well as restaurants and bars and things like that. And we're very well known throughout the Southeast for what we do.
We do a lot of stained glass in restaurants and commissions for homes and churches.
Yep.
And we do quite a bit of restoration work.
Yeah, we do a lot of restoration work. Matter of fact, Barb, and I didn't get to open the box today, but I just want to let our customer know that your big box did make it from Raleigh, and everything looks pretty good. So we'll get that bad boy working. Somebody sent us in one of our a bent panel lamp from Raleigh, North Carolina, arrived in the rain on Saturday or Sunday, and we weren't at the shop, but we did get it inside. So
welcome E as a new member. Welcome to the Artyrv live stream and to our channel.
Welcome.
I don't have my lights for there. I'll get them in just a bit, but
thank you so
much. Get that going.
Okay.
So let's start out with a few questions.
So we're doing blue tonight, everybody.
Yeah, and one thing I want to tell you, I had to update the members page. You know, we show the members at the end of the live stream. So, look at that. You can see your friends, all your friends that participate. Most of them come to the live stream and they're members. I had to update that page, so now there's 2 pages because we had so many members. We have close to 100 members, and we are so excited about that.
Well, and we're very happy to have you guys aboard with us, and it's very exciting, Barbara. I think you said we were at 97 members, and that's like, we were tickled when we had 10.
Yeah, we were tickled the first time we got a member, and I believe that member has been with us forever. And we appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. We really appreciate that.
So this month, we're letting everyone know we have a box of glass that we've used for the last several live streams that we've cut on air. And it's a great box of beautiful glass that you can use for the little pieces that you look for and you may not have, or for mosaics.
Or even for sun catchers.
Or for sun catchers. So it's a good variety of colors. That box is finished. but we're giving y'all till the end of the month. Everybody that is a member by January 31st will be put in a drawing for that particular box
of glass.
Box
We'll pick
of
up
glass.
the shipping, and we'll just have it
Send it
to you. Now, remember, if you're interested in the box, please let us know by going to viewershowcase@gmail.com and just saying simply yes. And that'll let us know that you're in the drawing.
Yeah, we don't want to have a winner that doesn't really need, if you got a lot of scrap, you don't need any more.
You don't want that showing up on your door.
But if you do a lot of sun catchers or you do mosaics, I would just send something to viewershowcase@gmail.com and say yes.
And they're not all little crummy pieces of glass.
No, some
The
of them
pieces
are
of glass are 4x6, 3x5. So they're nice little pieces of glass in order for you to do a little something
that's
with.
right.
And you know what? The best part about it, it's free glass. And we'll pick up the tab and get it to you. So
Carla says she's praying for all the folks in the North Carolina mountains and now California. And we are too, because now they've got some more threat with the high winds coming. So please keep them in your prayers.
yeah, and it's
Bless
really
them all,
sad.
their families, and their pets. So,
I could get teary-eyed.
I know, it's
Careful.
heartbreaking.
Yeah. So hey, let's start out with our first question, and I think. No, you know what?
You know what? We have something we want to show.
We want to share with you guys.
We want to share this with you guys. In the hectic world of online, somehow we missed
One of our viewers.
one of our viewers for Viewer Showcase. So we just want to bring that up, and let's see.
So get ready. It's going to get cold first. Brr. Oh, the snowmans. I love them.
So this is just a quick little Viewer Showcase. And I think this was in an earlier Viewer Showcase. I went back through all the live streams. I could not find it. And Ed said he remembers it because he remembers the
particular-
dominoes.
Right.
But let me read this. This is from Beth Mehennick. And she writes, I recently retired and thought stained glass would be a fun new adventure. I have a few ideas, but wanted to figure out what I was getting myself into. There are no classes or even stores here to support this, so you have been my go-to for what to do. For this, I really appreciate you. So I figured I'd start with straight edges, squares, and triangles. I'm a big-time board gamer, so a Domino's Mexican train station seemed like a fun thing to try.
Oh.
Attached are my first 8 attempts at stained glass work. I realize I need more practice before I attempt the windows I want to do, but at least I've started.
I think they're beautiful, and for not having any classes and just watching our channel, that is way too kind, and we appreciate it very much. And so we hope we can help you.
Yeah, so that was back in March.
Okay, so
And I don't know what happened, Beth, but I apologize. And then in December, Beth sent me this. I titled this piece A Mother's Love when I made it for my daughter. She has been my grandson's biggest fan from T-ball to coach pitch to summer rec league, finally to high school and summer travel leagues. She's only missed one game in 13 years when she had kidney stone surgery.
Ow.
Ouch. These are replications of all his baseball jerseys through the years. Unfortunately, he has completed his baseball career, but this is a way for his mother to remember all those games, sunburns, and showers included. Beth Mehennick.
And you know what? She entitled that piece of work A Mother's Love. Y'all, that is just really, really exceptional. I like that. And I'm sure that that her daughter will like that too.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
So if you'd like to be in the February Viewer Showcase, send your photo and a brief description to viewershowcase@gmail.com. And that's also, you need to get your yes answer, and we'll be drawing for the box at that Viewer Showcase.
So, hey, everybody, Ray's in the house tonight. We want to make sure, let's give Ray a big thumbs up. He works very hard to make sure that you get your links to the answers to your questions from our videos. Great, Ray. Nice to talk to you. Buddy, I got your message. Everything's good. It's good to see you And thank you for everything that you do. And I know our viewers appreciate it as well.
Okay, let's start out with a question from Carol.
Hey, Carol.
Carol says she has a design question. Aside from tradition, is there any reason to place a border around the edges of a figurative stained glass panel?
Absolutely not. No, that you can carry that window right to the edge. Matter of fact, I'm working on a window today that I was drawing for a customer, and it's an abstract, and it's the second one in the house and in the opposite bathroom on the other side of the house. This one's completely different, but it looks similar. And so, but what I did do is not put any borders in it. I extended the window out into the edge to where I can join everything together without it being, the typical 2-inch border, 2.5-inch border all the way around. You know what? It's much easier to carry the window into the border and eliminate it, I think. And sometimes it lends itself, your design will lend itself to not having a border at all. Yes.
Yeah. It's very traditional. Borders are traditional in the church windows and
even the window behind us.
Windows,
you see the border around it? It doesn't really need that, but they wanted to add that color, and that's where their border comes in.
And then with the sailboat, there's no border.
There's no border in the sailboat because the sun and the boat and the mast carry on into the edge.
Okay.
Wow, y'all, this is really great. I'm so
Yeah,
happy
it's
so
so
many
good
of
to
you are
see
tuned
you
in
all.
tonight.
We've had
Turned
a lot
in.
of response this week. A lot of questions come in. If you have a question, we prefer that you bring your questions here rather than, we love our comments on our videos, don't get me wrong, but it's hard to go. Some people watch old videos and then comment, and they do not come to me really. I mean, I have to
They don't
go
come
back.
fast.
They don't come fast. They have to somehow work their way to me.
Yeah, and then it'll say, oh, so-and-so
So then I find
commented 7 months ago, and we're like, oh. It's not that we're ignoring you. It's just that the way it comes to us is a little bit different. So if you can come to us
With a question.
on Monday nights with a question,
That's far better.
Sure it is. It's much better. And also, you know what? The thing about it is that your question is heard by the viewers and answered by us, so everyone gets the answer to your question. And it may be something they're even thinking of. So thank you again for all the questions, and don't be upset if we don't get to something because the way it comes to us.
So yeah, if you have a question, bring it here. And if we don't have the answer, sometimes the viewers have the answer because we don't know everything.
Yeah, we have a great community here, Barb.
We do.
We really do.
And we are happy to share. Okay. Now, if I miss any questions, Ed, you just...
I'm kind of like,
Tell me,
I'm
okay?
kind of keeping an eye on this chat over here. And
you're watching that one. I'll
yeah,
watch
and I
this
know that
one.
MB Volker has a
I see
question. I
that
just
right
see
here.
that at 7:05 p.m. So
Okay. Mary Beth asks, does glass cut poorly when cold? I was trying to cut some 3/4 by 12-inch strips last week on a cold day and had a lot of problems with cuts going off weirdly. Should I heat it up before I start?
I don't know that I don't typically have problems with glass when it's chilly out. I don't know. You could warm it up, Mary Beth, and just see the reaction. But a lot of times, those strips could have actually been just the glass that you were working with that particular time. Because I can't remember having any problems with glass that is colder than normal. I do, and as a matter of fact, you do have trouble cutting glass that's too warm though, because it will break erratically.
Have you had any trouble cutting glass since then? And Ed will probably show you, it was, you said, a 1/4 inch strip, 3/32.
3/4 inch strip on 12 inches long.
3/4 inch. Yeah, you shouldn't have any
shouldn't
problem.
have any
But
problems with
he'll
that.
show how he does that. It really has to do with how you use your running pliers and chase the run.
And we just got a new member, Barb.
I know, we
Uh-oh,
did.
watch out. Let's
Welcome,
go.
Elizabeth.
Let's get that thing going. Welcome, Elizabeth. Welcome to
One
the
more new
RDRV
member.
channel. Here we go.
Thank you.
Right, Chief?
Thank you. Okay. So I hope that answers your question, Mary Beth. Just wonder if maybe your cutter might have been
A little dirty. Maybe clean it up a little bit. Maybe try a little bit of oil. And but normally, so let's say, for instance, say Loka, she's up in the northern tier in Montreal area. So I don't know, is that something that you have trouble with as well, Loka? Maybe cutting glass when it's a little too cold outside. I don't have that problem, and it's like right now, Barb hasn't been to the shop this week because it's so. Even though with the heat on in there, we don't have like really good central heat, and it's a little too cold for Barb to be there. But I'm working in about 55 degrees, and I haven't had any trouble cutting any glass. So.
Yeah. Believe me, I have plenty of work I do.
Yeah,
at
she's
home.
got plenty to do here. It's not like she's not working. I promise.
Yeah, I can bring my work home. That's the beauty of my job. So let's see. Cindy has a question.
Hey, Cindy.
Can you score and break neatly 1/4 inch thick glass needed for outside mounted lanterns? 3/32 is too thin. I do have silversmith breakers.
Well, your silversmith running pliers will probably work. I haven't tried mine on 1/4 inch glass. However, I know that your regular Lepinette little short running pliers will work fine on 1/4 inch glass. But you know, they do make 3/16 glass. So if 3/32 is too thin, that's just picture frame glass. And then it goes up to an 1/8 or 3 millimeter. But then if you're trying to cut, then the next size after that is going to be 3/16. So if you can purchase 3/16 glass, it'll make it a little easier for you. And if you're putting it in a lamp outside, typically most outdoor light fixtures are 1/8 inch glass or 1/8 inch window glass. So.
Yeah.
Or 3 millimeter. So
Yeah, it's probably 1/8, I would think.
yeah, I
1/4
would
might
think.
be
So.
too
I
thick.
don't know. 1/4 inch is like way heavy duty for an outside small panel.
And you'll have no problem cutting 1/8 inch glass with your tools.
With your tools, yeah.
So try the 1/8, and then the 3/16 will be pretty easy to cut as well. 1/4 inch might make that lantern a little bit heavy.
But also, I mean, it's going to be a little more difficult to cut for you without the proper tools. I have a whole set of different tools that stay on my cutting table in the back. In my cutting table is where I use all the different thicknesses of glass up to 3/8 glass or 10 millimeter. So.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Mary Beth says that she's found 3 reasons to put a border on. First, it gives the piece a finished look like matting a photograph. Second, it helps with getting it square. And third, I don't lose any of the design into the groove of the frame. So
There you
consider
go.
that with
Yeah.
your pattern. Thank you, Mary Beth.
Yeah,
That's a
thank
good
you, Mary
answer.
Beth. That's awesome. Hey, say hi to Frank for us, will you?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we have another question.
There's one.
And I do want to remind you guys to put your notification button on, your notification bell on, and that way you won't miss any of the live streams. Sometimes people forget it's coming up on Monday, and if you put that notification, hit that notification bell, it'll remind you that the live stream's coming up.
Right. So we have a question there from right at 7:03. See it?
This one?
Yes.
Are you, Gardner AF, are you going to get the new silversmith breaking pliers with the deeper throat to demonstrate?
Well, unless they want to send me a pair, probably not. But ironically enough, we are going to be doing a demonstration with our silversmith runners tonight. And because I know a lot of y'all got these for Christmas and are wondering how to use them. So during tonight's glass chat, we're going to talk a little bit about using the silversmith running pliers. and we're also going to check out how to use them. How I'll show you how easy it is to switch out the parts on the cutting, on the braking head and everything. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about those. And you know what? I didn't know that they have another pair of silver snit running pliers because I haven't been advised of it. But if they do, it's possible we might order a pair. But you know, I have lots of running pliers. If somebody wants to send me a pair of the new running pliers, I'll be happy to demonstrate them and give you my thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Yeah, they may benefit.
They may benefit some people, but
especially when you're doing.
Yeah, these are pretty deep throated pliers too here. So I'll have to look. I haven't even seen a new pair of running pliers by Silver Snit. So.
Okay. Another question. Cindy has a question.
Hey, Cindy.
Okay.
Excuse me, y'all. I'll be right back. I gotta go get a.
Don't look at his pants.
Mary's little toy.
Don't look at his. Don't get up. Taylor's going. Don't look at his pants.
Okay. Where's the spray bottle, Taylor, please?
Okay. She'll be good. She'll be good.
She'll be good.
Uh-oh.
She went for a walk and
Where'd he go, Mary?
You
go
better
get
go
him.
with your brother.
Go get him.
She's so funny.
Oh, you should see her when we come home. She runs through this house like there's no tomorrow. She's sliding all over the floor, or feet are up in the air.
She's like.
She looks like one of the Saturday morning cartoons.
I was going to say I'm trying to figure out what cartoon that is. But yeah, so she's spinning her wheels. So.
Okay. Next question.
Okay.
Cindy asked, I have several people asking me to teach how to do stained glass. Can you suggest how much I should charge per person and how many sessions that would include?
I don't want to. I don't think we need to. You know, it depends. Here's the thing. You know, people are paying you for your knowledge, Cindy, and if you're a really good stained glass artist, then your time is worth. You have to figure that out though, because here's the thing: we do weekend workshops, and we do 10 hours. We used to do one night a week for 6 weeks and stuff like that. That is not profitable. I will say that to you. That is not profitable. Playing around one night a week and giving them homework that's not going to be done. You're better off just get them in there for the weekend, teach them everything that you can and that you know, and do it that way. That's just my opinion. I know that I found that it works better for us weekend workshops, but of course, we've been teaching classes for over 25 years, and we have that down pretty much to a science. So like this weekend, we have a full beginner class, and that class is Saturday. And you know what? Maybe you might want to, I don't know where you live at, but maybe you might want to register for one of our classes. Come see how we do it, and then you could work off of that.
Cindy, we have a workbook on pricing your stained glass. So when you work your way through that workbook, you'll know how much your labor costs. You know, how much should you be charging for labor, because that's basically what you're doing. It's kind of like pricing a stained glass window. How many hours you're going to put in, you've got to be paid an hourly wage. How much do you make an hour? And then the materials that and
then your facility has to be paid.
And your facility and your profit. So you have to put that all in there and work. And it's going to be what you feel most comfortable out. We can't tell you, you know, what your costs are, yeah, and things like that. But if you'll get that book, I think it'll help you get a good idea of what you should be charging.
And you can go to
our
website and
I think it's like $4.99.
It's $4.99 for the book, or
like that.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of really good information, and it'll tell you a lot about your business and yourself.
Yeah, so it's a trial and error. It's trial and error. You're not going to get it right the very first time, but you'll get a lot of benefits from it.
And I will tell you this: in a beginner class, so that everyone learns something, 4 to 5 people should be the top. Because unless you've got 3 people helping you, 4 or 5 people is typically what a small enough class that everyone is going to learn what they need to learn.
And there's a lot of preparation that goes in it as well.
Boy.
But once you do that first class, you'll know. You either, and you can tell by who's registering as well.
Right.
If the price is too high,
It won't fill up.
for your area, and check around and see what other people are charging in your vicinity.
Right.
That could give you a starting point. So good luck with that.
Yeah,
Good
I
luck.
hope that it works out for you, and
Because it is very rewarding.
Yeah, teaching is very rewarding, and then it also builds up a really nice clientele. So,
It does.
But it's just the initial investment. You have to have you have to have an entire toolkit for each student that you own, but they can use. So there's quite the investment right there. So if you're going to do 4 people, you need 4 toolkits. So think about all that.
Okay.
Wow, there's a lot of color, a lot of thumbs up for
I
Ray
know,
tonight.
for
Woo,
Ray,
woo, woo,
yes.
Ray, baby.
Okay. Okay. What would cause, Melissa wants to know, what would cause a crumbly spot in my solder line? Too hot, bad solder, flux problem, Amerway 6040.
I think you answered all your questions. It could be too hot. It could be the fact that just when you were running that bead, you spent a little bit too much time there and it fell through and melted.
Could be dust.
Could be dust. Your Amerways, it's not the solder. If you're using Amerway, they don't have a lot of trash in their solder.
And it could be your flux might be dirty. I mean, do you
too much
keep
flux.
your flux? Yeah, too much flux.
Too much flux. If you're using ruby flux and it's not that really pretty pink color anymore, it's dirty.
Yeah. Be careful about contaminating your flux.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. I hope that answers your question,
so.
Melissa, and welcome to the chat. Okay. PC Mendy asks, my current project has many small pieces, 1/2 inch squares.
Wow.
Do they have to be grinded in order to foil? How do you recommend grinding small pieces?
Well, they don't necessarily have to be ground, but you also have to look at the edges. The edges do need to be square, and that's pretty much a lot of what your grinder is used for. So if your edges are clean and you clean the glass well, you may not have to grind everything. But the way they make little things that fit on your thumbs that you can order, and they're grinder mates is what they're called, and they keeps you from doing your own nails on the grinder. But if you're doing 1/2 inch squares, and remember too, if you're doing 1/2 inch squares, you don't want to use 7/32 foil if you can get away with it. You want to use 3/16.
Yeah. So sometimes if you don't cut it quite right, you're going to have a little flare, and that will have to be ground off.
Right.
But if that piece is nice and clean, you're not necessarily going to have to grind
No,
it.
because if it's cleaned with alcohol well and doesn't have any oil from your fingers or your cutter on it, and the glass is thoroughly cleaned, then you can probably just you should be able just to foil it. Because guys, when you're doing copper foil work, it's not that the glass has to be ground for the foil to stick. Is the glass has to be ground to clean up your mess from cutting it. And so you're going to get flares. And when glass breaks, remember y'all, we've talked about it. It breaks like this. Okay? Mm-hmm. And so if you're tapping it, you're going to get a flare everywhere you tap. Everywhere. And we'll talk about that during tonight's glass chat. That's a great thing because some of you do tap. And when you tap, you create flares, which creates work on your grinder for you. So we'll talk a little bit about that too at tonight's glass chat.
Okay.
That's a great question. Let me write that down because I don't want to forget it. Hold on.
You need some paper? You
I got
some
it right
paper?
here. Thank
Okay.
you.
CJM said they've watched old videos and purchased tools based on our recommendations, and it's
thank
made
you,
their
guys.
work easier. Thank you.
We're glad that we
CJM.
could help because that's,
Beth.
you know what? That's the RDRV channel.
You're welcome, Beth. I was happy to do it.
And you know what?
RDRV Glass
RDRV
Studio.
Glass Studio.
On our way to 50,000,
On our way to 50,000, y'all. Hey, you know what? At 34,000, 16,000 more is really not that big of a deal. We're excited.
Yeah, we're happy.
And thank you again for helping support the Artyrv channel, guys.
Okay, Diane Collins wants to know, where can I purchase the tools you use to cut straight lines in many of your videos? That's available on our Amazon page. If you go to the description of this video and scroll down, you'll see Artyrv Amazon influencer page, and that's us.
That's us. So click on that. That'll take you right to the page. And that's
it's under cutting tools.
Yeah, it's under cutting tools. There are several different sections. Yeah, I'm sorry, Barb.
My brain's working better tonight.
I know, mine's foggy. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. It
I'm
must
sorry.
be the new
I'm
medicine.
sorry, though.
I think it's the new
promise you,
medicine.
I'm here. I'm here. I promise you.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, I know, right? Flares and tapping.
Okay. Let's find another question. Diane has a
Hi,
question.
Diane.
Oh, that was her question, the
Okay.
straight line question. Yes, she'll be able to find that on the Artyrv Amazon page.
This is one of the best tools that you'll ever put in your tool arsenal.
We don't have a purple one. We're
We don't
still
have. I think they're
searchable.
black on the page or tan because
yeah.
they're Lepinette squares. And now we also do have the 16-inch Lepinette and the 24-inch Lepinette. Those little squares, believe it or not, will change your work dramatically by using it.
Magali checked in, but she can't stay. Bye, Magali.
Bye, Magali. Hi, Magali. Thanks for checking in, hon. I was going to cut a really pretty piece of red
It's
iridized glass for you.
It's probably good you're leaving.
It's probably
Phil.
good that you got something to do, hon. Enjoy your dinner.
Okay. Kelly wants to know, what about soldering when it's cold? I work in the garage and it's about 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's good, but you may just have to, what you may have to do is, like we've said in the past, just do a test with your soldering iron, and you may say, let's say that in the spring and summer, normally you might work on 7.5 with your rheostat, or if you're using a Heiko 601, you may work on the lowest temperature. But at 60 degrees, your iron may cool off a little bit faster, so you may have to adjust your temperature on your rheostat or on your Heiko, and just to make sure, just do that test and see what happens. That's the only way that we can tell you to. I can't give you a temperature thing because I know that right now, if I'm soldering in the studio, the temperature that it is up front, I'm working at about 8.5, maybe even 9. So
Magali did leave a message. Don't cut any iridescent glass while I'm gone. She's got eyes everywhere, just in case.
you're too funny, dear. Hugs to you.
Mary Beth said it was pretty chilly that workshop day, and she cut glass, and then she hasn't cut anything since. That was a batch she had cut, and then she foiled and everything. So she'll check it out.
Yeah, check it out, and please let us know, Mary Beth. Hey, Larry Mary.
Larry Mary's here.
Albuquerque, how are you, man? Nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Larry puts his on a heating pad and covers with a towel just to keep it warm. And his
It's colder
thinking
than
is it does
affect it a little bit.
Yeah, it does affect. Pauline, I have not used the Pet Zoom because Ed prefers not to use it because he thinks it might hurt her ears.
Yeah, but she seems to
She's
be
been doing better though.
Oh yeah,
but thank you very much. If you want me to
thank you.
send that back, Eddie won't let me use it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, but we love you. We love you.
And you know what,
Pauline.
Miss Mary wears her pink hat, and she thanks you very much.
And she wears her collar, and we think the collar has calmed her down.
I think
she's still not perfect.
We put that collar on her, Pauline, and she went, "Oh, this is a little different now." But she definitely greets people much nicer at the glass studio. So thank you, Pauline.
It's a work in progress.
And thank you for the
Everything.
very pretty Christmas ornament you sent us. Thank you.
Okay, Carol wants to know, is there a special tool for breaking out a really deep, large curve, like 2 inches wide or 3 inches deep?
Well, the best thing to do, Carol, is to get your hand underneath of it, allowing that knuckle there to help you, and just holding it with those really neat grousing pliers that your husband hooked up for you. And you can still do that. You can still chase that run. So when you're trying to get into, maybe I'll get an deep inside curve tonight. And I brought all, for tonight's glass chat, I brought all transparent cathedral glasses so that you can see them. I want you to see the run. I want you to watch it and see what I'm talking about when I talk about chasing the run, or when I talk about down and away. It's a natural occurrence when you break your glass. So when we talk about all those things, the reason I brought these beautiful bullseye glasses today, that's so that you can see what's happening and we can talk more in depth about it. So.
Okay. Melissa says it's not spots, it's a 1/2-inch strip that will crumble. Maybe your glass isn't fitting together correctly. Is it snug together? Because it might be just falling through.
Yeah, it could be just falling through. If your glass doesn't fit tight and you're working too hot, it'll fall right through.
Right through.
Sure it will. And a simple way to help you stop that, if you haven't got your cutting down to where it's really fitting nice.
Oh, thank you, Beth.
Wow.
That is so sweet. Thank you so much. We do appreciate that.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
you, Beth.
That was very sweet of you. What does that mean? $1 for every 1,000? Oh, thank you so much. That is so sweet. $1 for every 1,000.
Oh.
Beth's been with us for a while
I
now.
know you have. Thank you.
Thank you for
and
your
many
support,
of you
Beth,
have. And
even
thank
though
you for
I'm,
your support. We
I made
appreciate
that big
it very much.
Boo-boo.
Because remember, you know what? Hey, when we grow, you grow.
That's right. Okay. Okay, let's see. Cindy said she's been doing stained glass for 25 years and she can only teach 2 students at a time.
That's great.
Yeah, so you kind of know what you should be making in that period of time. And
you could do that in a weekend.
Yeah, you could do 2 people in a weekend.
And you can do 5 hours a day, Saturday, Sunday, and you can teach them. I mean, I could probably write my curriculum, but it's sometimes I change it up a little bit. But yeah, hey, 2 people, I'm going to give you a thumbs up for that because that's perfect.
He would love that.
If I could do 2 people and actually turn a profit for the weekend, I think it would be awesome.
Okay. Let's see. And she said thank you for answering the question.
Oh, you're welcome.
Does iridescent glass have a shorter lifespan than stained glass?
No, because it is stained glass. It's just got a let me think of the name of it. Anyway, basically what it is salt. It's a salt compound that's sprayed on it while it's hot that creates the iridescence. It's real toxic.
Vicky wants to know, what's your favorite cutter and what cutter do you recommend for newbies?
All right, for newbies, I'm going to recommend to you the Silversnit 4000, which is the brass handle pencil grip cutter. And I'll show it to you right here. You can get a lesser expensive glass cutter that'll do the same thing, and it has a TC10 head on it. And they both have a 140 degree angle cutter, but I think you'll find that the Silversnit 4000 with its little grip on it. Throw that main camera over here, Barb, would you please? Just because
this is the main camera.
I mean, I'm sorry. So you see this little threaded area right here? This is what your finger goes on, like that. See that? And that's very comfortable to hold on to. For a newbie, this is a really comfortable glass cutter. And then
the screw side goes down on the Silversnit.
The screw side goes down or faces you on the Silversnit 4000. If you happen to get one of the brass handle cutters, this is a different type of cutter. This is the brass handle. This has a different head on it. I don't like this head, and that's why I don't use it. But your best bet your next best bet cost-wise is going to be the fixed head. And I forgot to show y'all something about this cutter last week.
You're going to show it this week.
I am. And but this also has the finger rest on it here, like this. And this head is fixed, so it does not depress. And when we're talking about cutting glass, when we depress our head, this is all the pressure that we need in order to score the glass. So when we get back and we get back into glass chat, we're going to talk a little bit about a lot of different things. But these are the two cutters that I would recommend if you're getting started. I think that you'll find that they're both very comfortable and that they're really excellently designed, like our other cutters, but these just seem to feel better in your hands. So.
Well, let's do we do have some more questions, but we
Okay.
need to go ahead and do a glass chat. You were going to do some demos, show them how to use the silver schnitz.
Yeah, so I brought our silver snit. Oh, I brought our silver schnitz. These are the original running pliers here, and so first of all, let's talk about this. This is how simple. This is how simple that head pops out, and you can see the hole. And these can be replaced very easily. You order these separate as a kit, and they come in and they're replacements. Same way with the bottom. It just comes right out, and then it fits right in. Now remember, while you're using these silver snit running pliers, you have to remember that the round button is the bottom and the rectangular button is the top. So let's grab a pretty piece of glass here, and let's square a piece of glass up first. Let's see what we got. Oh, I'm going to grab this. This is a beautiful bullseye. Now remember, this is 3 millimeter. It's 1/8 of an inch thick. And we're going to take this. Let's get a cutter. Now this is going to be the viewer that asked about a cutter. This is the cheapest cutter that you can buy. That's a pencil grip. It has a TC10 head on it, and it's fiberglass. What you have to worry about is the fiberglass cracking because it's threaded up inside of it. So this is not a cutter that I'm going to recommend for somebody that's just learning how to cut glass, because it's not going to do exactly what you need it to do. However, I'm going to grab my Silver Schnit 4000. And this is made by Bowl, and Bowl is a German company that has many more things to do with glass than just cutters. But their cutters, I always say that the German engineering, just like their cars, is top notch. So their cutter is top notch. So here we go. We're going to take this and we're going to make sure that we have the right side. And we're going to, as you can see, I have the screw to the back. I'll turn that sideways so you can see it. I'm going to push down. And remember, when I'm cutting patterns, or when you're cutting patterns, the easiest way to do that and to see your line, okay, let's do this. Whoops. Some of you may cut just like that. I don't know. So we're going to try this right here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to score this. And I'm going to push down. Now listen, I'm going to depress the head. Okay, and now we're just going to take our time. When you're scoring a pattern, it's kind of like driving a car. Okay, so I finished up here, and I'm going to take my silver schnitz, and we're going to start this run, and hopefully we're going to start it so that it doesn't run out all the way, and we're going to start, and you will hear it pop, and when we do, we'll stop. Okay, so we heard it pop. Now we can see that run right there, and it stopped. Okay, so now your silver schnit running pliers have a pretty deep throat on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the top head, and I'm going to come directly behind that run, and tonight I'm going to make sure, so if I move around a little bit before we do anything, I'm trying to make sure that I'm staying in the camera because it's much easier for y'all to see. So remember, our run is right here. I've adjusted the top head on my silver schnitz, and I'm going to drop in. Dropping in means I'm going to put my pliers behind the score, and I'm going to squeeze a little bit harder. Just like that. Okay, so now my score has run to right there. See that? I'm going to drop in. I'm going to turn my head just a little bit more, and I'm going to squeeze again because I'm behind the run. Okay, now I watched that move, and it's right there now. Okay, so now I want to come in, and I'm getting in behind that run again, right here. I've turned my head almost perfectly 90 degrees to the plier. I'm going to move my hand out of the way because you can't see, and now I'm going to squeeze a little bit harder. Here comes the run. See it? Watch it go. Hang on. There we go. See it? And now I'm going to come in. I'm going to drop in behind it again. And I'm chasing the run. This is what I mean by chasing the run. See that? I'm chasing the run. Now, this is completely broken. And what I want to do is I'm going to turn my head back so that it's perfectly 90 degrees. I'm going to come in, I'm going to come right on top of this. We'll hear it break again, and it should drop completely off. There we go, just like that. Okay? So there you have it. That is how you chase a run with the silver schnitt running pliers. So now we're going to talk a little bit about tapping, because those of you that do tap, I'm going to show you what it does each time that you tap. And you know, this cutter works really good for this too. So we'll just take and we're going to tap this. Okay, so I've got my run started. See it right there? We're going to go up. So when I tapped that, I tapped it so hard that it just completed the run. Most of the time, but I want you to see this. You see that flare right there? Hang on. There it is right there. See that flare right there? That comes from tapping. And there's another one right there that's from tapping. And once I tapped it here so hard, it went ahead and ran out. But look what it did. It left me another flare right there. See that? Y'all, these things are sharper than a single-edged razor blade and will ruin your day. So, remember, this is a bullseye. This is just a light turquoise. And it goes in to the new box. So we've got this going on. Let me show you that. Let me share this color with you. Okay. Look at this green. Is this gorgeous or what? You know?
And that's a bullseye.
This is a bullseye lime green. Yeah, they make like 4 different, 2 opals and 2 transparents, 1 lighter, 1 darker. And y'all, this bullseye glass is just so, and Carol knows because she lives right down the street from Bullseye almost. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna cut a straight line, and we're gonna use our grousers and try and take off 1/4 of an inch off of this. Okay. So remember, I finished on this end, so I'm turning it around. I'm going to grab this with my running pliers. Try not to ever grab it right on the very edge, because it won't break correctly and it gives you a chip. So we can take this, but you see I'm putting my finger underneath of my grousers, and I'm going to be pulling down with this hand like this. Okay, here we go. And we're going to pull down and away. Down And when I say away, this automatically pulls away, down and away. Now, one thing that you're going to find when you cut 3mm glass and you take off a very narrow strip is you're going to find, and you can see this, I'll turn it sideways, okay, that it creates almost a flare from the front to the back. You see that angle? And that's what when I talk about how the glass breaks at angles, when you're breaking it, this is what happens. This is a very narrow piece of glass, but you get a flare. And your grinder, y'all, is what straightens this up. Boom. I mean, it just does such a great job with it.
But when you're grinding, it's zip. You're not
right
pushing.
And no, it's just zip. But if you end up with this edge here, see that? There we go. See that edge? It's an angle. See it? Your grinder will square that up and then make short work of it very quickly. So we're going to take this now and we're going to chase a run with our grousers. And we're going to come back here. And again, here we go. We're not going to grab it right here on the very end. We're going to grab it a little bit in. I'm going to put my knuckle. You see that? You see how that falls? I am not squeezing this glass, y'all. I'm going to put my knuckle underneath and my thumb right on top, just like this. And we're going to start that. We're going to start that run, just like that. And we're going to pull down, and then as soon as I pull down, it's away, just like that. Okay. So let's get a little bit bigger piece of glass, Barb, because these short pieces are only doing short runs. So let's do a long run and see what happens. Let's chase that thing and make it happen. I'm going to put that in there. Let's pick out a really pretty piece of glass. This is another, oh, look at that. It matches my shirt, Barb.
Sure does.
Sure does. Okay, so first of all, let's learn how to use our square. So, because this piece of glass is so messed up, we're going to use our square and we're going to square this up. Now remember, I'm using my Silberschnitt 4000. The angle of this, you really, when you're cutting your glass, if I can turn sideways, that's about the angle that I have my glass cutter on, which is somewhere around 15 degrees, okay? So here we go. And I come off, and now what I want to do is I'm going to take my Silberschnitts, and I'm going to make sure that they're in the middle, because if they're to the left or the right, I'm going to get a flare. So we're going to depress the head, pull down, and there we go. Now, I want you to see this. There is not a flare there. Why? Because my Silberschnitts were dead center. Okay, so let's do a score. Let's do a score where I can run this, and I'm going to offset the pliers so that they're actually on the glass wrong, and let's see what happens. Okay, so it's still going to work where it pulls down like that, but watch what happens. Okay, if you're running pliers, that's pretty good. That's pretty good flare I just created. That thing right there will ruin you. See that? And that's because my running pliers weren't centered on my score. It created a flare. So that, what does that mean? That means that you need to do some grinding. So let's try that again, except this time I'm going to move it to the other side, and we're going to create a flare on the opposite side. So right there is the middle, okay? And I'm going to go over here. See that? You see my score and you see the center. Okay, here we go. So that ran that, okay? Let me get my grousers. You see this, it ran it. It was so far off to the side that it couldn't complete its job. So now we have to grab it with our grousers. We're going to put our knuckle underneath and we're going to pull down and away. Down and away. You know why? Because you didn't want any part of that right there. Look at that. Look at that. You really don't want any part of that flare right there, okay? And now I'm not going to take that flare off with my grousing pliers because I'm in my living room. And that's not what we do. but I want to share that with you. If you're getting flares, guys, if you're getting flares in your work, it's because check your running pliers. Make sure that they're centered. It doesn't matter if you're using silver schnitz, lepinets, or inland. It doesn't matter. If your running pliers aren't on that line, if your score isn't on the line that's in the center of your running pliers for you, that's there for you, you're going to get flares. Flares mean more work for you, and also you always take that chance of needing Band-Aids, okay? And that's something everyone should have in their toolkit. So, but anyway, let me...
Can you cut a 2-inch wide by 3-inch deep piece?
Sure.
Okay.
It's like a half circle, I guess.
Like a half circle?
Kind
Okay, Pauline, I'll talk with you about that later. Thank you.
All right, so we want a 2-inch wide and 3 inches deep. Two inches, probably at least 3 anyway. So the first thing I'm going to do, if I was doing this and this is the piece of glass that I need, except this piece of glass is going to be really funky looking, it's going to be pretty, and that's what I want it to look like right there. And so that'll be my pattern.
So
here
which
we go.
piece are you going to keep?
I'm going to keep this piece right here. I'm going to take this out.
Okay.
Okay, and I think that's what Carol's looking for. So the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to whittle this down because I need to be able to get into it. Okay. So we're going to turn this around. All right, that's got that. And so now we're going to go right here. And we're going to pull down and away. And then we'll clean that up just like that. Okay. So now what we want to do, y'all, I'm gonna switch up on my cutters. Let me grab my 2000 because I feel pretty comfortable with that one. So I'm gonna grab my 2000. So the whole idea here is I'd like to keep this piece if I could, okay? So this is going to require me to do several different things. We're going to be using our silver snips, and the main thing we're going to do is we're going to get this. So as you can see, when I'm cutting this glass, so we're going to start out with our silver snits, and we're going to run this bad boy around. Here we go. Okay. So now I'm going to come back the other direction, and we're going to go back into it. Let's make sure that we have our silver snits exactly where we need them. So I've got a seed right here. I'm not sure if that's going to cooperate with me or not, but you know what? It's live television, y'all. Here we go. So we need a little bit of a run. Hopefully we're gonna jump right through that because I didn't pick up. So we want to make sure that we get that centered. Oh, I heard it go by the pot, by the crack that time. Yeah. So let's come over here. Now instead of turning the head each time, what I'm trying to do is turn the handle. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to turn this over. We're going to relieve it a little bit.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
I'm sorry. Okay, there's something's going on now. I'm upside down. There we go. Okay, so now the very last thing to do, Carol, is this right here, hon.
Oh, can you hit it on the bottom?
No, it's ready to come out. It's just. By turning my running pliers, I've loosened it. I can move all of this. Okay? So because I'm not interested in this piece of glass right here, this is the best way for me to remove it. Okay? So the best way for me to remove this little tiny piece of glass is to do this.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
That ought to be worth $100. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So, Carol, what I did now, because as I was chasing this around, I did leave several flares on this, and I'll show them to you. But if I were using this piece of glass, I would grind that, and then the other piece of glass would fit right inside of it. So when you're chasing, and I just thought of something too, Carol. So let me say this to you. A great tool to do these large inside curves like you're talking about is that the Morton system makes what they call a breaker bar. Okay? And the Morton system is still available, and it's available through Hollander Glass. You can get that Morton system, but get that breaker bar. Get that breaker bar, and that will allow you. That breaker bar is 14 or 16 inches deep, and you kind of squeeze it, very similar to a pair of running pliers, but it has two buttons on it. It has a concave button and a convex button on it, and as you go through your glass. This is a breaker bar. Take a look at it, Carol. It's maybe something that you would be interested in for your tool arsenal. I think that would probably help you. And while I'm sitting here cutting this piece of glass for you, I was just thinking about that. So I need to do something here real quick, y'all. Number one is to get rid of this stuff because.
Okay, maybe we can ask a question.
Yeah, let's answer a few questions. I hope that helped y'all with your cutting skills. And you know what? It's always nice when something comes out instead of breaking, especially on live television.
Can you show the difference between the right pressure and too much pressure on the cups? Side view of the glass.
Well, I can show you the too much pressure. Okay, so there's the, oh, I'm sorry. So there's the right amount of pressure. See that right there? And I'm just running my nail right across that. So if I take a cutter And these are both what I call, these are both brand new cutters. I mean, I haven't used them enough to cut enough glass to take the flare out of them. But if I push down, and I'm not gonna use an expensive cutter. I'll use a cheap cutter and show you the difference. Okay, here we go. This is just your basic. This cutter will run you somewhere around $21 if you purchase it at a brick and mortar store. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my square right here. And I'm gonna push down way too hard. Ready? Is that it? Okay, good. I'm gonna get my hand out of the way. Now see, that because this is a TC10, the screw goes forward because the angle is facing me. Here we go, too hard. Now, if you're standing on your glass like that you're pushing too hard, you might as well just get you a bunch of cutters and stack them up because eventually you're gonna need them. So here's the thing.
And you can see that.
You can see that. Look at that. This is what I call a rooster tail. The glass is actually flaking up behind it. Here we go. I'm gonna do that again. Too hard. Here we go. If you're standing on your glass cutter like that, that is way, way too hard. So let's break this. And once we get it broken, I'm gonna show you what that edge looks like. It's not pretty. It looks like somebody chewed it. Okay? It's not pretty at all. Look at that. See that? If you're pushing that hard and getting this on the edge of your glass, you're pushing down on your cutter way too hard. Let's break it. Look at this. Look at how the glass is flaking. See that? Okay? You're pushing way, way, way too hard, y'all. Don't do that. So let's get rid of this. Let me show you this edge. Oh, ugh. Well, that even scared me. Look at that edge. Okay? Right there. See it? It's pretty bad. So now, if I take my cutter, same cutter, nothing different about it. It's just I was pushing really hard. Here we go. You ready? I'm going to push forward because it's easier for everybody to see. Here we go. Oh, you can hear the difference. You can smell the difference. Here we go. So I'm going to make sure your running pliers are turned correctly. And here we go. Y'all, that's a beautiful edge on a piece of glass right there. Just like that. Okay, see that? And see that? See the difference? This is pushing way too hard. Right there, see it? Oh yeah, get that glare? This is pushing just right. Look at that. Okay. So here's the thing. Like I Am Allen says, 8 to 10 pounds of pressure will depress the head on your glass cutter, and that's all you need to be scoring the glass. And you know what? I need a Band-Aid because I sprung a leak, Barb.
That's all those flares.
All those flares.
The Band-Aids are right there. He sprung a leak.
I sprung
Well,
a leak.
if you're not bleeding, you're not working.
Well, there you have it. So guess what tonight? Guys, y'all got me working because I'm bleeding.
Okay, Pauline wanted to know what green patina would be used for. The only thing I could think of is to make it look like
Copper.
old copper.
Oxidized copper. Yeah, that would be the
Vertical.
only thing I could think of too, Pauline.
Okay, and Cindy said
Get under here. Come on.
she would like that.
Come on.
Oh, thank you, Carol.
Oh,
Thank
Carol.
you very much. That's so sweet of you.
I was
Mary
just kidding.
even came here to say
I'm
thank
just
you.
kidding. Y'all don't have to pay me to cut glass. That's what I do. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Carol. That's awesome. So let me put this in the trash here. So I wanted to share. Actually, Barbara brought something from the shop, and it's something that we've been telling you guys about for a long time. And sit down, please. I'm gonna get the bottle, and you know what that means. So she just
It's
she
that time.
tested me.
It's that time.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. So, but anyway, guys, we're sorry about the barking.
Ed, finish your sentence.
All right.
and I'll take
So
it.
we're sorry about the barking, and we're going to stay with you for a while because Barbara's going to go get the one thing that Miss Mary hates: a spray bottle full of water. And Magali, you're back. Hey, you guys, when you're tuning in tonight, I hope that my simple little cutting demonstrations help you, because, every piece of glass that you cut, is going to be different. It doesn't matter if the manufacturer is the same. The majority of manufacturers have the annealing process completely down to a science, and it's beautiful, the majority of them. So as the glass changes and you use different glass, as long as you don't change the pressure or change the way you think about when you're cutting that glass, because you don't want to be intimidated by a texture, and you don't want to be intimidated by a color. So if you'll got our attention, didn't it? If you'll just take the time to make sure that you keep the same amount of pressure and use the tools, your hand tools that use them correctly. There she is. She loves you guys. And that use your tools correctly as they're designed to be used, your cutting experience will be so much better, and your confidence will increase tenfold.
I think we've answered. Magali wanted to know, could you actually use that piece in stained glass sun catcher or a panel? If the piece is curved, will it eventually break at its weakest point?
I'm sorry, what, hon? Go ahead.
The curved piece of glass, will it break at its weakest point?
No. It won't. As long as if you get it cut. Once you put it in a window, it's fine. It could possibly, this piece could possibly, you can't see it because I don't have a white shirt, but this piece could possibly break at any given time while you were cutting it. But once that's out, that's done. There is no weak point in it any longer. Especially once you get this piece in. Let's just say, this piece here might just be a cap, and that piece might come all the way down. It might go in here, it might go in here like this, and you might want to put it could have a windowsill on it, and all of that. But there is no chance of this piece of glass breaking any longer once you have taken it apart and cut it correctly like that. So yeah, don't worry about its weakest point, Carol. You're good, hon. Thank you, and thank you for your.
That was Magali's question.
Oh, Magali. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
It's a
that.
good question, Magali. And since you said you were leaving, I'm going to save this for next week for you. Okay. So make sure to tune in next week, Magali. I'm going to cut this bad boy up.
Just think about the torture.
Think about how pretty that is, but you know what? Once I cut it up, guess where it goes? It goes into the box that somebody's going to receive.
And we'll save a big piece because we used whole sheet of that. And,
yeah,
that's what was left.
This was what was left over. Barbara said to me this morning, when you go to the shop, remember my bin of bullseye.
Yeah.
And bring us home some pretty colors. So let me show y'all. Go ahead, hon.
You're going to do this. Show them this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am. I'm going to show that trick.
Okay.
And I'm going to do that on a piece of stringer.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah, there's something wrong with the camera. The close-up camera's messed up tonight, y'all. I'm sorry about that. It's wobbling back and forth.
Yeah, well, I keep hitting the table, and
Yeah.
y'all know that's me. I'm sorry. And Alan, I'm glad you like my pants. I didn't mean for everybody to see them.
I have a better setup for that camera, but I haven't figured out how to attach it yet.
So we have to attach it. So let's do this right here, Barb. Let's bring this
Okay.
in. Bring this in close.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to, Magali, I'm sorry, but guess what? Go ahead. This is a little bit iridized too. But
We'll
anyway,
use that a couple
I'm
times
going to
anyway.
show you this. So here we go. I really want to. I'm going to get rid of this really gorgeous factory edge here. But I'm going to show you. This is someone had the question. Why is the cutter handle on the Silversmith 2000 different from all other cutters? Well, I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you what this is what I call a paddle. And what this paddle is used for
Magali's on her way.
is for spanking Barbara.
Magali's on her way.
Is she on her way up here?
Yes,
Hurry
she's in
up,
the
let's
car.
go.
Okay.
All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to scoot up here. I'm going to let you see the end when I come off, okay? And I'm right there. Okay, good. So I'm going to push this cutter matches my shirt tonight. Here we go. So what this little, what I call paddle is for, normally you would take, if this were a little bit bigger piece, this is exactly what you would do. So you put that in the center of your score. Don't put it left or right, and you just push down.
There you go.
And then pull it away, just like that. Down and pull it away. And so this little trick is used in cutting much thicker glass than this. But this cutter is designed for the guy that works in the shop in a commercial glass studio where he's cutting glass all day long. And this, y'all, believe it or not, man, you can rock with some plate glass and some 3/16s with this. Actually, and a lot of times, when I first, it's just a quick story if we have time for one, Barb, do we? So when I first started in the glass industry back in the late 70s, I guess it was probably 78, and so when I first started, we took the guys that I was working with. They were cutting glass and they were bringing it and doing all this and so I watched the guy that I worked with, and we worked together closely for a lot of years. I watched him. He was just taking and sticking his finger, okay, under the glass, and then just pushing down and lifting up on the finger, pushing down and breaking it. We're doing window glass, okay. Well, he said, "Here, try it. Put your finger under there." And when he did that, I did the dumbest thing that I've ever done in my life. Is I pulled away.
Oh, God.
Which was the dumbest thing I ever done. So that just kind of cured me from ever pulling away. But it can be done. And so so this thing right here takes the place of this right here. This edge right here. I can't. There you go. Actually, it's the same color as your jacket. That looks good. So let's go right here. That's easy.
This way. Over this way.
Okay.
Because you're not in the camera. Okay.
All
there
right.
you go.
So we're going to do this one more time. I'm going to show you how this is just, I'm just going to cut this in half because we're going to use this glass next week. Here we go. Ready? And remember, just because this head doesn't depress, pretend that it does, and 8 to 10 pounds of pressure. Down. Score. Hang on, I'm trying to find there it is.
Okay.
I'm going to find my score right there, just like that. And we're going to push down, ready, and away. Just like that. And you get a really nice, clean, even break because you're pushing down at the same time on both sides of the glass. So that's just another way for you to utilize your tool. Now you can use a tongue depressor, you can use the edge of a paintbrush, anything that you want to use to help you break that piece of glass. Just make sure that it's on a bevel, just like this is. And a lot of times what I keep in the back on my table is what they call a windshield paddle. It's just a plastic fid, okay? There you go. You have one of these on the end of your fid that you can use. If I had a fid, do I have a fid? I'll show you.
Enough is enough said, now I need that.
Okay.
We have them on our Amazon influencer
We do.
page.
Let me look and see if I have something in here. In my little goodie box.
Okay. He's
I don't.
looking.
I don't have one, but anyway,
Okay.
if I did, I would share it with you. But
Well, maybe next week you could
I'll bring a fid home. So
I'll bring a couple different things you can do that with.
okay, yeah, and remember, you can do your finger, just don't pull it out.
Don't pull it away.
Don't pull it away.
Okay,
That's a down and away there.
I think that we have answered all the questions, and I know that you guys probably have things to do.
Right, and we want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. Everybody stayed for a little while. We're a little bit over, but you know what? We're always happy to share any kind of knowledge and answer all the questions that you guys have.
And Miss Mary calmed down when she got wet. She doesn't like to get wet.
She doesn't like
She
it.
just needs a sprinkle of
If
wet
it's
on.
if it's raining, y'all, she will wait till lunchtime to go outside to go to
She
the bathroom.
will. She hates it. She hates it.
Well,
so
you know,
that's all.
I believe that was from her former life, that she definitely did not
We've
enjoy
had
it.
this bottle for 6 months, and we've only used that much water. So you can tell we've only used that much water for her.
So when she sees
doesn't
it,
take
she pays.
much.
When she sees it, she pays attention, guys.
Yeah.
So hey, thank you for sticking it out with us. We appreciate it. I hope that we helped you with your cutting endeavors. You see Miss Mary's calmed down. She loves
Yes.
everyone. She just doesn't know
does.
how to
She's
express her
tired.
feelings.
She's tired. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it. And look for the new member page. It's
Coming up right after the
You'll be able to
show.
read the names easier, but there's 2 pages there.
There's
so
2
don't-
pages, and the first hang time is 15 seconds. So don't get in a hurry. Give yourself 15 seconds to see your friends or your name. And we appreciate everyone, all of our members, all of our viewers. And if you're catching this on the rerun, thank you for tuning in. And don't forget, bring us your questions on Monday night at 7 o'clock. And for the Artyrv channel, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you, guys. We love you.